Thank you, Chairman Klein, for your kind introduction. And ladies and gentlemen, I am very much pleased to be here with you today. I have come here with my cane because I am an injury in my hip joints because of military government assassination. But I have never used this cane and will never use for the purpose of caning to anybody else. I will now share my ideas on the three problems confronting the United States today in Asia. They are the North Korean nuclear problem, desirable relations between the US and East Asian nations, and those between the US and Korea. It is possible to resolve the North Korean nuclear problem that has been confounding us and taxing our patience. I am convinced it is. That is because North Korea's goal in this adventure is not to develop nuclear weapons, but to realize its number one foreign policy objective: normalization of diplomatic relations with the United States. Kim Il-sung desperately hopes through diplomatic relations and economic cooperation with the West to escape from the hopeless economic situation and the extreme international isolation so that he can pass a stable regime on to his son. Needless to say, it is impossible for the North to improve its relations with the West unless it gives up the development of nuclear weapons. These two are mutually incomparable. Until the 1953 armistice, Kim Il-sung attempted to unify the Korean peninsula using military force. After that attempt failed, he tried to repeatedly to instigate a communist revolution from within South Korea. But following the collapse of the Soviet Union and the disintegration of the communist governments in East Europe, Pyongyang began to experience international isolation and rapid deterioration of its economy. As a result, the North made a series of policy shifts. In 1991, North Korea made three major concessions to the West. The first was the joint entry, together with South Korea, into the United Nations, which the North Korea had opposed for more than 3 decades. Excuse me. The second was the acceptance of cross-recognition of two Koreas by the world community, especially the US, Japan, Russia, and China, which South Korea and the West had advocated since 1973. The third was its mutual recognition of the South and the North Korean governments as legitimate entities by signing a North-South agreement in December 1991. Though this series of concessions advocated by the moderates, Kim Il-sung expected a quid pro quo in the form of diplomatic and economic cooperation from the West. He also anticipated the cancellation of the annual team spirit exercise, but such expectations have not been fulfilled. Consequently, the hardliners gained the upper hand, and the result was the North Korean declaration of its intention to pull out of the NPT, and a series of very belligerent statements. The hardliners think if we are given no way out but to ruin, we might as well go down fighting to the end. North Korea doesn't have military capability to win a full-scale war, but has enough power to inflict casualties to millions of South Koreans and Americans. When North Korea announced its decision to abrogate the NPT on March 12 last year, I was at Cambridge University as a visiting fellow. Upon hearing the news, I immediately proposed a two-pronged approach to this problem, a package of simultaneous give and take, together with cooperation from China. What should each side give and take? Two things should be given from each side simultaneously. North Korea must give up its nuclear ambition and guarantee South Korea's security. At the same time, the United States must reciprocate with diplomatic normalization leading to economic cooperation, and North Korea's security assurance, including the cancellation of the annual team spirit exercise. However, it is important for the United States to consult with China and seek its cooperation on the North Korea's nuclear weapon program. China would no doubt cooperate in this matter because the nuclear issue is not only Korea's and the United States problem, but also China's problem. And because China too does not want North Korea to possess nuclear weapons. This is a foolproof approach. If the North Korea accepts this package deal, so much the better. If, on the other hand, Kim Il-sung rejects this package, China will have no choice but to support economic sanctions, unless, of course, it is willing to endure international criticism and lose faith. This is nothing for us to lose with this one-shot package deal. We do not need to waste time any longer. I am not saying we should trust North Korea, but simply test its real intention. We are now entering the era of the Asia-Pacific region. If the United States really believes itself to be an Asian Pacific country, as declared by President Clinton, the U.S. must understand the sensibility of Asians. To an Asian, face saving is as important as saving his life. Instead of the give and take method of the West, an East Asian, if he feels he is treated with dignity, may cheerfully give to for one. On the other hand, if he is displeased, he might reject the deal altogether, no matter how advantageous to him. To formulate policies based on accurate understanding of these characteristics of the Asian sensibility is to assure the success of American foreign policies and gaining friends in the Asian Pacific region. Face saving is reciprocal. I save your face, then you will save my face. The United States is the only country that bases its foreign policies on human rights, and it is important for the U.S. to stay the course. And I give high marks to the U.S., but the U.S. must respect the Asian way of thinking, especially face saving, to get good results. I do not have right to meddle in the international affairs of the United States. However, since U.S. actions in Asia will profoundly affect us, and as a friend of America, I am compelled to ask you to respect face saving as an Asian way, while insisting on human rights progress and improvement in trade practices. This is how you ensure success in the long run. We feel very strongly about the tactics America has used in opposing Beijing's bid for the Olympics, pressing China on MFN and advancing its trade interests with Japan, South Korea, and other Asian countries, Asian nations. Face saving is even more important in dealing with North Korea, a country ruled for 5 decades by one man with absolute authority. Kim Il-sung's faith cannot be compromised no matter what might be offered in return. We must make good use of this point in dealing with the North Korean nuclear problem. Concerning this issue, President Clinton has recently made a magnanimous gesture by sending the Reverend Billy Graham to Pyongyang with his own message to Kim Il-sung. By receiving an emissary and message from the leader of the most powerful nation in the world, Kim Il-sung's stature has been greatly enhanced. Not long after that, North Korea accepted IAEA inspections. To considerable degree, I believe that Reverend Graham's Pyongyang visit played a considerable role in North Korea's change of attitude. And I heard today that there is a good development, about nuclear inspection between North Korea and IAEA, with the effort of American go-between law. I propose to President Clinton that he send to China and North Korea an elder statesman, respected internationally, trusted by the Chinese and North Koreans, and sharing the views of President Clinton. Mr. Clinton's emissary can play an important role there. In recent interviews with the American press, Kim Il-sung showed a gesture of conciliation and willingness to make concessions. He even expressed his wish to visit the United States. I urge Washington not to miss this opportunity. Kim Il-sung's visit here by itself will signal the end of 50-year-old war-like situation on the Korean Peninsula. His American visit may take the form of attitude the UN General Assembly as a leader of a member nation. National Press Club may be suited. National Press Club invitation may be suited to Kim Il-sung's visit very well. I must stress that the U.S. should consult closely with the South Korean government before sending the emissary to the North, lest the North Korea should believe it can divide the U.S. and South Korea. Furthermore, the emissary's mission may fail without the South Korean cooperation. Last but not least is the U.S.-Korean relationship. There are several points to be made about this. First, the U.S. must keep its troops in Korea. U.S. forces are needed not only to keep the North from attacking the South, but also to prevent an upset in the balance of the power in the region. Second, the U.S. should exercise leadership in creating a 2+4 Northeast Asia cooperative security system. These 6 countries are North and South Korea, plus the US, China, Russia, and Japan. This Northeast Asian security system may resemble a scaled-down version of CSCE, but I am not proposing that this multilateral system replace the existing security treaty between the US and Korea. Third, Korea is the 8th largest trading partner of the US, and I hope the 2 countries remain good economic partners for mutual long-term benefit. I might add that the trade conflict between our 2 nations should be resolved harmonious and with the patience instead of the excessive unilateral pressure. Fourth, some in the US have raised fears of war and created excessive tension about the present nuclear problem. Koreans are worried about such attitudes in the US. Authorities of the US and South Korea must maintain these cool and solve the problems patiently and peacefully. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been concerned about the rocky relations between the United States and North Korea and East Asian nations. I hope my brief remarks here today will help shed new light on desirable American approaches toward Asia and promote better understanding and cooperation between our 2 countries. Thank you for your listening to me with patience.
Dr. Kim, though, the first question is, why do you believe that Kim Il-sung would accept an invitation to visit the United States? With conditions so tense today on the Korean Peninsula, wouldn't he prefer to remain in North Korea?
Thank you very much for your agreement to send invitation to Kim Il-sung. And after you are sending invitation, if Kim Il-sung accept, so much the better. But if not, Kim Il-sung must be criticized by world opinion because he expressed his strong desire to come to the U.S., enjoying hunting and fishing here, and getting friends here. So no rules for you in this effort to send an invitation to Kim Il-sung. Thank you.
But do you really believe that he can leave North Korea at this time He's 82 years old, I believe, and in ill health. Do you think that he could really leave North Korea at this time and make this trip to the United States?
Problem of his visit, we have not raised, but he raised. He was willing to come. So as he stated so, we send the invitation. So whether his health is good or not, or situation in Korean Peninsula, that's his own business, because he proposed his willingness. He expressed his willingness to come to the U.S. I think there must be some discussion in the North when Kim Il-sung expressed such a desire. So it is good for you to test him, sending invitation to come to the U.S.
You have said two things that are somewhat at discrepancy with each other. One is that we should be respecting the internal rights of Asian nations, such as China. The other is that we should be pushing for human rights. Now, in the matter of most favored nation status for China, do you think it is best for the United States to push for human rights in China by cutting off most favored nation status for that country, or would that be counterproductive to getting China to agree to help with North Korea?
I am not saying we should force the China to persuade North Korea to accept nuclear, transparency because of MFN. I am saying China is sharing same interest with North Korean nuclear issue. If North Korea does have nuclear, South Korea may follow. And Japan, there is possibility Japan goes nuclear way. If Japan wants, accept that way, as we know, Japan can become easily nuclear superpower, concerning its, economic and technical power. So this is absolutely serious problem for Chinese, national interest. That's why China is opposing any possibility of North Korean nuclear possession. So that's why I said in my speech, this is not only American problem, but also Chinese problem. So there's no relation of MFN issue.
You proposed that President Clinton send an elder statesman to China and North Korea. Can you give us an example of a specific person who you think would have the stature to carry out such a mission?
I hope such my remark should not be taken as my intervention in your domestic politics. So I am hesitating. But chairman of this National Press Club is so dignitarious. So I can't resist to his question, not giving answer. So I'll try. So I think one of them, most suitable leader, elder statement must be President Carter. And President Carter was a president who opened the diplomatic relations with China. So he is so suitable. And also, he is widely respected, trusted by international society. So, in fact, yesterday, I have a telephone discussion with President Carter about East Asian problem, including North Korean nuclear issue. And also, as far as I know, North Korea has long admired President Carter. So they want to see President Carter's visit North Korea. So if the U.S. send such an elder statesman to North Korea, that will greatly, compel Kim Il-sung to make some decisive concession toward the U.S. As you know well, in North Korea, Kim Il-sung is the only man to make concessions. So I think whether President Carter go China and North Korea officially or not, that's not my business. But he must be one of most suitable elder statesmen to visit China and North Korea. I think so. Thank you.
The South Korean President Kim Young-sam, is he aware of your proposals here today, and do you know if he supports what you are proposing?
I have not discussed with President Kim Young-sam about this emissary, so there's no reason for me to have such discussion because this is American business. But I have long proposed President Kim Young-sam to have a summit meeting with Kim Il-sung as soon as possible. That is very necessary to reduce mutual hatred and misunderstanding between both countries, both governments, and to restore reconciliation and good cooperation between both sides. After my such proposal, President Kim Young-sam responded, proposing North Korean Kim Il-sung. I am ready to meet with Kim Il-sung anytime, any place, if he agrees. So I really want to see his meeting with Kim Il-sung to solve our problem. We must realize reconciliation, mutual cooperation, must develop a peaceful, reunification stage by stage. So I really want to hear such, meeting. And I have been long invited by North Korea. So I openly declared before my people, unless President Kim Young-sam meet with Kim Il-sung, I will not go to the North. So I am waiting for his meeting with Kim Il-sung. Then I will consider my visit to the North.
Dr. Kim, you mentioned that Koreans fear certain U.S. attitudes that raise the specter of war. What would Korean opinion be if the United States ignored the North Korean nuclear inspection stalling tactics?
Our absolute condition with North must be North Korea's agreement of complete transparency of nuclear ambition and nuclear problem. And without the realization of such thing, the U.S. or South Korea shouldn't give any tolerance to North Korea. So the transparency of nuclear issue comes first, but only to achieve a successful negotiation, I am proposing a simultaneous negotiated package deal So dealing between the U.S. and North Korea must be achieved concurrently. So I don't think there is any worry that we lose our position. And as I mentioned earlier, we should propose a negotiated package deal to North Korea. As North Korea many times stated such thing by Kim Il-sung and top-ranking leaders. They said, we have no intention, no ability to produce nuclear weapon. Our first goal is to have a diplomatic relation with the U.S. They repeated such, advocacy. So now we should say, yes, now we will allow diplomatic relations. So you should prove your remarks was true, accepting nuclear transparency. We are in such position. So if North Korea accepts this, that's good. If not, we should ask China to persuade North Korea. And if North Korea doesn't agree with such Chinese pursuit, then with China, we should bring North Korea to the UN economic sanction. If China be cooperative, economic sanction will be very effective. This is our way. Nothing to lose. We don't need much time to solve this problem. Yesterday, when I met with State Department leaders, including Assistant Secretary Galucci, I told them it is time for us to put an end to this problem. We have consumed too much time. If we continue such thing, it's not good for us. The longer we continue such nuclear negotiations with North Korea, the more the U.S. and South Korea must lose its prestige. Nothing to gain. I suggest him. This is my analysis and suggestion. Thank you.
As I said before, Kim Il-sung himself is 82 years old, and his son, who is the heir apparent, has been described in the American media as unstable. Do you think that there is a pressure to get some kind of resolution to this thing while Kim Il-sung is still alive?
There has been a long saying in Korea and abroad. As long as Kim Il-sung is alive, there will be no change. But reality is not true. Is not so. In 1991, after collapse of Soviet Union, Kim Il-sung made 3 major concessions, as I mentioned in this my speech: simultaneous entry to the UN, cross recognition, and mutual recognition as legitimate entities between both Koreas. So Kim Il-sung made such significant concessions toward us. Only Kim Il-sung makes such things because about these 3 our proposals, North Korea has long advocated, even more than 30 years. This is a kind of American imperialist plot to divide our nation forever. So we shouldn't accept such, plot. But Kim Il-sung did this without disturbance in the North. Kim Il-sung is like an almighty man in the North, whether it is good or not. We don't support such system. No doubt, after Kim Il-sung, even if Kim Jong-il succeed his father's position safely, but Kim Jong-il couldn't exercise same authority and couldn't be strong, like Kim Il-sung. I suggest in another speech, which was delivered yesterday before American Enterprise Institute, in that speech, I strongly suggested we should solve the problem before Kim Il-sung's death. But, and let me tell you, this is not my own judgment, but American experts' judgment, such as former, the U.S. ambassador to Korea. I know two of such ambassadors whom I met. They told me their analysis. We should solve this problem before Kim Il-sung's death. And as far as I know, Chinese government also think that before Kim Il-sung's death, problem in Korean Peninsula should be solved. And if you allow me about diplomatic relations with North, this is not, this is not the giving, allowing of privilege. In a sense, this is our promise, with two reasons. One is in 1991, North Korea became a regular UN member with the blessing of the US government. So diplomacy doesn't mean ally or a friendly country, but mean relation with the existing country. It is contradictory for us not to have a regular UN member, not to have diplomatic relations with the regular UN member. And in addition, when in 1973, South Korean then President Park Chung-hee proposed this, cross recognition. Since that time, including the U.S., the West has long supported this. But now, cross recognition is only working on our side, not North Korean side. North Korea feels kind of breach of promise. And also, diplomacy is not, advantageous only for North Korea, but for us. Imagine if we have tens of, our embassy buildings in the north with hundreds of, our diplomats from Western society and South Korea. And naturally, there will be our businessmen, to invest there, with North Korean businessmen. And tourism will be there. Many of tourists go to North Korea. Then such things will greatly change the atmosphere in North Korea, pushing North Korea to become another China. So let me tell you, as my conclusion, let's make North Korea, to involve in economic development. Then North Korean economy become, better. When, as it is natural, when we feel hungry, we get angry. But we feel full of stomach, we laugh. This China is a good example. During Cultural Revolution, how much China was hostile. But now with prosperous economy, how much Chinese people is laughing. In their mind, there is no Mao Zedong or Cultural Revolution or socialism. Very little, but in their mind, there is, business and making money. So we should make North Korea another, China. This is what we should take to solve a problem, peacefully, I think.
You mentioned often in your speech the need to make face-saving overtures to Asian leaders. Do you believe the United States government at times has acted arrogantly in its dealings with East Asia?
Difficult question. But unfortunately, I feel many of American people, Asian people, feel that. So they when there is a problem about trade issue or other things, American has been time to time too much suppressive. Even we feel somewhat, somewhat too strong. So, as I already mentioned, Asian people take face saving most important. And so, with some moderate attitude to save Asian peoples, then that will be good for the U.S. Not losing friend, but to achieve its goal with voluntary cooperation but expressed by East Asian governments. Sometimes it may need time, but such an impatient attitude very much deserve to take. If America has a strong attitude, suppressive attitude, it may be helpful in sometimes to get short-sighted interest. But I am afraid it will lose, friends, and in long term, it will be harmful to American, interest. As far as I know, in East Asian countries, basically speaking, they want to be cooperative with the U.S. If only the U.S. can understand their situation, if only U.S. can take, such a face-saving attitude, then I think they would be much more willing to be cooperative with the U.S. I say this as one Asian people. I have been long supported American democracy, and I have owed much America in the course of my struggle against dictatorship, because I saved my life 2 times. So I am saying I have always feel some burden to America. So I am saying this as a real friend of America. So I have a worry that such recent American, somewhat strong attitude is gradually losing Asian people friendship. I am afraid this.
Following up on what you just said, one questioner asked, can you tell us whether it is true, as has been reported over the years, that the American CIA intervened to stop the Korean CIA from killing you after you were kidnapped from Japan?
Yes, that was really true. Really true. Without such American intervention, my life would not be saved. In 1973, that time I was in exile in the U.S. and Japan. In August, I was abducted at some Tokyo hotel. Abductors, Korean CIA men, first had a plan to kill me in the bus stop, hotel bus stop, dismembering my body. So they prepared 3 rucksacks, heap of tissue paper, strings. But they gave up in killing me at the bus stop because I shouted help. So they afraid of my voice was known by others. They brought me to the sea, leaving all these things, rucksacks, paper, and also they left their North Korean cigarette, disguising North Korean activity. And in the ship, Keisha ship, I was about to be thrown into the sea. My whole body was, tightly tightened. That very moment, as far as I know, Japanese plane came there over the ship and, threw, warning bomb. So I was narrowly escaped from the death. That time, American CIA visited Korean president, warning not to kill me, and provided this information to a Japanese government. As far as I confirmed, president. So I was able to be saved with such American CIA activity that time. And also in 1980, when I was sentenced to death, without the American effort to save my life, together with world opinion, my life would not be saved. That time, President-elect Reagan, it was in 1980, made their best effort to save my life. So I don't know this time in 1980 whether CIA involved in this case or not. But it is true that the American government much contributed to save my life. Thank you.
Thank you very much.